Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, my name is Dustin Strong, and this is our Ask Me Anything Hour. This is when we take all the questions that you've submitted to us over the course of the last few days, and we answer them live here so that you can share these answers with other people, so that the answers we give are not just for one person, for as many people who are struggling with these things as possible. And we already have some reactions out there. So if you have, hey Karen, if you have questions while we're doing it, you can go ahead and type in the questions live right now, or you can email them to us at info@strongonhealth. We're going to try something a little different today. Today, I'm actually going to do an overview of all of the questions, and then I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to do a separate Facebook Live going into them specifically, so that when you're looking for them in the future, you can just search, I'm looking for this, or I'm looking for that, so we can make it easier for you, and let us know what you think about that, because we're trying to take all the complexity out of it, make things as easy as possible. Because we've got questions about gout today, we've got questions about diets, we've got questions about glyphosates, and we've got questions about mercury, all kinds of things. So I think it'll be easier if we break them down. But let me just start at the beginning here first and say that we've had some really good success stories, and we want to share those with you too. Because the important thing that we find is that when you start to see that other people have taken a pathway and been able to get to where you're trying to go, it makes it so much easier for you. But if you don't believe that you can even get there, then you're never going to start. And what we want to make sure you do is believe that you have the capacity and the capability to be able to get where you want to go when it comes to your health, to actually achieve that. We have a tremendous success story I'm going to share with you. And it was a gentleman who was asking about, for me to share on here, what my take is on gout and uric acid and what people can do. Over 8 million Americans are struggling with this, so I will do that one separately after this to give you more details on that. Okay, questions about mercury. We had a question that is, we aren't supposed to consume it, correct? Doesn't fish naturally have mercury? So what can we do to avoid that when eating fish? And that's a really good question. Actually, what happens is the bigger the fish, the more concentration of the mercury. So as you go up the food chain, you get more and more and more. And it's not that it's naturally in there, it is something that actually has happened over time. But what I'll do is I'll put below a list of fish that are the ones that are gonna have the highest amounts, and then a list of fish that are gonna have the lowest amounts, so you can be careful to make sure that when you're eating those fish, you know that it's okay to eat them more regularly, and the bigger fish to eat them less. What can you do about it is the question, though, is you do want to make sure that you're not having too much mercury in your body, and if you've had fillings and you've gone to see a holistic dentist to help you take those out, that's definitely a very smart first step. But also, you are getting exposed to a lot in these big fish. So the things that are going to help you detoxify those metals and make sure that they're not just staying in your body, they're moving along, are going to be things like other metals that are going to balance them out. Selenium being a huge, very important mineral to help process out mercury. And as you know, we talk a lot about Brazil nuts. Being from South America, they have to be, so they're not just from an area that doesn't have selenium in the soil. So you want to get a lot of selenium. Zinc is very important to help with that. Things like cilantro, things that are heavy metal chelators like garlic, those are going to help you with that too. But I will put in the links below a list of the high mercury fish and the low mercury fish, so that you can keep an eye on that. Okay, so we've had a lot of people submitting their diets to us, and here's a trend that I'm seeing happen a lot, is that people aren't associating things that they're doing in their diet with what's happening, and many people have actually said to me, no, it's definitely not my diet, and then they've submitted me to the diet, and it's definitely their diet that is affecting their health. And I've been asked to review this film called The Game Changers, and I will do that later this week in a separate Facebook Live. But what I want to pay attention to for everybody out there, if you are struggling with a health condition and you think you've eliminated things from your diet, the first suspect should be something you're doing every day, because things will start to accumulate, things will start to build up. We had an example this week of someone who's had a lot of digestive stress, a lot of problems with their digestion, and we looked at a protein powder that she's been eating, and one of the top 3 ingredients is xylitol. In small amounts, xylitol is a sugar alcohol, and it may not be a problem, but if you're doing it every day for years, you may be having digestive problems because of that sneaky little thing that wouldn't give you a correlative experience where you eat it and all of a sudden you feel bad. It's a cumulative experience, and that's what people get confused about. So often I find that people feel that if it's not a direct correlation to what they're eating, they're not understanding the connection to it. When things build up slowly, This is how nutrition works. It doesn't happen overnight. Osteoporosis does not happen overnight. You don't get 100% blockage in your coronary artery overnight. These are things that take a very long time, and so you have to be respectful of those things that you're doing consistently over time to truly understand what is pushing you in harm's way and what could be pulling you out of harm's way if you start making those changes consistently over time. I really want to caution everybody about that correlative association with food, because I'll have people say, you know what, when I eat this, I think I sleep better. Well, there's so many variables. You are not being scientific if you are not controlling for all of the variables. And let me tell you, it's almost impossible for you to do that unless you're being very, very careful. So xylitol, check it out. And again, I'll put in the links below how the National Institutes of Health put on an article saying, look, too much of this stuff is going to cause digestive problems. So be careful of too much xylitol, especially all you keto people out there who are getting all these keto desserts and you think you can just go and replace all your sugar with xylitol. I'm here to tell you, you're going to have to pay the piper eventually, okay? Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will accumulate, and over time, you may have to start to move that out of the picture because it's giving you too much problems. Now, another example was that somebody brought to me some peanut butter, and they're eating this peanut butter every day. Now, everybody out there, if you're eating peanut butter, I want you to check the label, especially if it's like Jif or Skippy. Sorry, Jif and Skippy, but the truth is, hydrogenated oils are in those peanut butters. And hydrogenated oil is a trans fat, and this has been known to be absolutely destructive to the human body in so many ways. It takes 121 days for your body to process out that trans fat, and even then a 25% residual remains. So that means hydrogenated is death. Why do they make hydrogenated oil? So they can keep it on a shelf forever without it dying, because it's a Frankenstein protein. It's a Frankenstein peanut butter, I mean. It's something that's been killed. When you have an oil and you take it out of the ground, as soon as oxygen starts to mix with it, it starts to oxygenate, it starts to die. Oils do not last a long time, they go rancid because you've removed them from their life source. So what they thought in their infinite wisdom, will add a hydrogen ion, turn it into Frankenstein, and then it won't die. So you're eating undead peanut butter, quite honestly, is what's happening there. If you're getting the peanut butter where the oil's on top and you have to mix it in, most likely you're eating a real food. So it's usually just peanuts and salt. But check those labels. Hydrogenated oils, I'm here to tell you, are going to be going away because they're so dangerous to human consumption. So if you're eating that every day, and let's say you stop and you go, well, I've already stopped for 2 days and I don't feel any better. Remember, 121 days is how long it takes to get that garbage out of your body, and you still have 25% remaining. So to be correlative that soon is dangerous. It's dangerous to your health without thinking about it. So you have to have more of a reason than just a correlation and experience with what's happening with what you're eating now, what's happening tomorrow. That's not to say I don't want you to pay attention to what's happening in your body. You have to pay attention and really be in tune with your body. But you also have to understand that certain things don't happen immediately, they don't happen overnight, and certain things take a long time. Okay, so check your food diaries. As I'm going through this, there's so many things that I'm seeing people are consuming not knowing that they're harming them, and they definitely are harming them. So many people over-consuming breads. Commercial breads are going to have all kinds of challenges to your health. That's why we tag glyphosates in there. Glyphosates are going to be some chemicals that are going to be in there due to Roundup that is going to be sprayed onto the wheat before it is harvested in commercially raised wheat. So I don't want to make everybody afraid of everything, but I do want you to send me some food so you can understand if you're eating it every day and it has this junk in it, there's probably a good reason to look at that as the reason you're having the problems you're having. So we have to be honest about what we're taking in and honest about what we're not taking in before we start blaming everything else under the sun as to why we're not feeling good. Okay, you have a lot more control than you realize. I got a question about CBD. So many people have asked about CBD oils, and there's, I think, a massive portion of the population is taking CBD now. And here's my take on it. Number one, make sure that it is a good quality source. And how do you do that? You have to know the people who are producing it. You have to know more about them, and don't take the marketing advice on it. Don't accept the marketing as to whether or not something is good quality. Learn about where it's coming from. Second of all, yes, it is natural, and you do have an endocannabinoid system. Endocannabinoid system is intended to help your body be able to relax, to be able to be in a state that's going to heal. Now, there are other foods other than just CBD oil that will engage the endocannabinoid system. Carrots will actually engage the endocannabinoid system to some degree. Echinacea will do that. So it's not just about the CBD. And the reason that it's gotten so much press is because you can also have THC, which is the drug-like effect that's associated with the same source. CBD, though, should calm your system down. Maybe I need some today, right? I'm a little charged up. But if you're in an excited state, if you're in fight or flight, your body is not going to be healing. You're going to be suppressing your immune system. You're going to be in a catabolic state, meaning you're tearing things down because you're trying to get out of danger. If you need something to help you shift out of that into a calm state to allow your body to heal, there's value to that as long as it's not damaging your body. And as long as it's good quality CBD in appropriate amounts, then I can see there's a value to that for those people who need that. Are there other ways you can achieve this? Absolutely. You can do a lot of deep breathing. You can meditate. You can do yoga. Is it going to be exactly the same? No. Some people need a little assistance because they can't get out of their own way, and this helps them get out of their own way. And so, yes, there can be good value to it. If you have more specific questions about whether I would do it or what I would do and why I would do it, I'd be happy to answer those questions. Okay, so all that being said, I'm going to do now a separate video about gout for all of you out there. And one last thing, for those of you who are local, next month we are focusing, well, Sleep Box is coming out in the Strong and Health Box, but after that it's the Mood Box. It's helping people stay cheerful. We're going to do a lot of educating on understanding your happy hormones like serotonin, your sleep hormones like melatonin. And I'm here to tell you, if you're trying to make those on your own, you need the genuine building blocks to do that. And cashews are going to give you a lot of those. It's going to give you your vitamin B6, your magnesium, your zinc, to help get rid of that mercury. But it's also going to give you tryptophan. Tryptophan in a way that your body can utilize it in a raw nut, so your body can take that tryptophan, make it into serotonin, then your body can take that serotonin, make it into melatonin. Cashews are a great, great source for so many things. Make sure you're eating those to help keep you elevated. What we're doing is we're giving away these all week. If you come in here, we've got a couple of things that we can tell you about so that you can get a free bag of cashews to keep you healthy and happy throughout the rest of the year. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Next video is going to be about gout exclusively, so all of you out there who are not interested don't have to listen to it. Have a good week.